Hi everybody, Puffin here. Thank you for watching. I just finished Puffin's Potted Passages number 4 and just wanted to do an additional video for that because I have some more to say. Just being inspired by trying to do these discussions of spiritual things. I've been reading the Bible, smoking some weed, having a spiritual dimension to this discussion has really got me thinking of a lot. And one thing it had me reminded of is in Animal Crossing, there is the Katrina fortune teller who tells everybody times that are bad are just times that are bad. Bad times are just times that are bad. Remember, bad times are just times that are bad. It makes me think of some things because I just made a point about how in Puffin's Pothead Passage number 3, there's a thing about getting a sign, bad signs for a bad generation and good signs for a good generation. You get a good sign if you're on the right track. I think this is true in a lot of ways, but I wanted to temper the idea that when bad things happen, it's some form of punishment. Sometimes it is. Sometimes bad things happening are like a consequence for what we're doing. So for instance, being on oil instead of moving over to green energy has the consequence of climate change and all these bad things happening. It's like a punishment that when we know better and can be doing better, until we do, more bad things are going to happen. And hopefully we can change that as soon as possible and shift into a sustainable path so that good things will be happening. And we will get good results from that, just like driving less oil cars has improved our air quality all over the world due to the pandemic, unfortunately. But because people have been trafficking less, we have better air quality. Now, when the cars that come back on the road are more electric than gas, we'll continue to have better air quality. So on and on. You'll get good signs from good progress. But it's not as though all bad things that happen are punishments. One thing to point out is it's not as though all bad things that happen are bad. Some things that we think are bad turn out to not actually be bad. And you can understand that. One example is some people think it's bad that Trump is out of office. It's not bad. It's good. There's, things like that we might think are bad at times, or even things in your personal life that you think is bad at the time and it turns out to be good. So some things that we think are bad just aren't bad. Some things are obviously bad, and we shouldn't interpret things that are just obviously bad as punishments. We should also have sometimes if it is, and we know, hey, this is the consequence of my actions, then, that feels like a punishment, and in somewhat it is. And you're supposed to learn a lesson from that if it is a consequence from your action. But I think we jump to that conclusion or have that interpretation, that perspective far too much. And we should have the Animal Crossing consideration that times that are bad or some bad things that happen are just bad things that happen. They're not a punishment. They're not in any way a result of anything you've done. They're, because of someone else or because of, some type of accident, or they're for some other reason. They're not meant to be. They're just bad things. And to be able to get out of that sense of guilt or responsibility or shame, and you hear this in so many forms. There's terrible things going on through this pandemic. Some people survive and feel survivor's guilt for surviving in a situation. I heard about this on someone who was just in a clinical trial, and someone who got the placebo ended up dying, and because they got the vaccine, well, they thought, well, what if I'd not gotten the real vaccine? And what if I'd been in the half that got the placebo and ended up catching the virus and it didn't protect me? So, but that person feeling the survivor's guilt, well, they're not responsible for that. And we have that tendency so much in our society. We have to resist it and push back. And I think the Animal Crossing message is a great one that says times that are bad are just times that are bad. Sometimes bad things just happen. Don't feel guilt or responsibility for them. If you know that you do have guilt and responsibility, feel it. Learn that lesson and don't be that way, or make some type of amends. Try to do something to make up for it. And another reason why, even though I'm not a Christian, I'm a witch, I'm into magic and fairy tales and things. I'm into fairies and stories and creativity. I do believe in Jesus, and I have been lately studying things in the Bible, and I do think I've always felt that one of the great things about Jesus and the love religion that Christianity is truly meant to be is the forgiveness message. And while it's hard enough, we still haven't gotten the message for forgiving other people or forgiving ways that people or things have wronged us, it's even harder to forgive ourselves sometimes, and we have to apply that message as well. Now, some of these bad things that happen, on a systematic level, are going to keep being bad because we keep being bad. We have to learn our lesson from that and change things around. Like if we have, which we do, we have a police force that abuses people and certain people especially, or we have a justice system that incarcerates minorities at like a completely racist level. Like you continue doing that, and you're doing that really because of lots of reasons, entrenched racism in the system, but also in the belief of this is how you have to protect property. And there's this focus on protecting property versus protecting people that is completely out of whack. And as long as we're still having that focus, then we're going to continue to have negative consequences, both perpetuated by police forces and the consequences of people wanting to react to that and respond to that, which are positive consequences. People doing things to respond to that are positive, but people shouldn't have to be doing that. People shouldn't have to be protesting. People shouldn't have to be risking their time and energy and lives to make this point when it's all out there in front of us. And we have a system that's built on ignoring these things and shifting attention, things like that. We've got to just get right down to it and say, look, we know what our problems are. We've identified them. We can't waste time with these fake debates with people who just are paid to insist that it's not true because they work for the evil ones. We've got to just move forward. So I do appreciate you watching the video. I think that the main focus of thinking about what bad things really are is that in some ways they're bad things we're all doing. We're all part of a system that we need to change. And some people are far more responsible for that. So they need to change the most, or we need to change those people, like change that they're the ones in charge. And we supposedly have the power to do that in democracy. If we're failing in that power, we can change that, But we can focus on all these things, knock them all out. Don't leave room for a debate for next time. Don't let this stuff creep back in. But knock it all out and say, look, not only do we stop doing bad things and stop having bad consequences, but when we start doing good things and start having good consequences, everybody can see this is the way to go. We got this. So thank you all for listening. And if you haven't played Animal Crossing, I highly recommend it because it's just a great way of presenting, hey, this is how life can be if everything's kind of shared and everything's kind of equal and everybody's in it for the fun. And it's not the way we've been living it. And it's just such a relaxing break and model for how we can live. So try Animal Crossing and try reading anything. Try any type of conversation to try to get more ideas, because it's really crucial now that we get all ideas out there, so that get some ideas out of there. I'm not complaining about canceling some of these people. Get some ideas out of there so we don't have to waste time with them. Get all ideas out there. Everybody start expressing themselves so that the best ideas can rise and flower, and everybody can benefit from the best that everybody has to give. So thanks for watching, and thanks for sharing, and hopefully I'll see some of your videos too, talking about these things as well. Have a great day.